Good evening, everyone out there in the world today. It is time for another Car Chat with Kip. And this is a special episode because it's 30. So thank you all for that suffer through 30 of these things. No, I'm joking, guys. This is very fun for me. Really enjoy getting some stuff out there. Hey, Nacho's dad, thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. So that's some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. Of course, we're going to do a channel update, both Facebook, Instagram, and in the channel. We're going to, hey, Walt, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. We are going to talk, apparently, everybody's cars are going to hell in a handbasket because there are a ton of recalls. I'm not going to go through them all, but we will talk about some of the notable ones. We're going to talk about where we're going to be in the upcoming weeks and other miscellaneous car news. I might throw in another story of previous cars that I've owned, because the list is vast. Classic Rides, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here all the way from Dallas, Texas. And let's get into channel update first. All right, so on YouTube, we are up to 296 subscribers. I'm 4 away from hitting 300. And we've got a total of 53,810 views, which is pretty cool. Might be easier to say, which is not recalled. That is actually a better point, Walt, on that. There are so many cars that are, so many recalls. It's just insane. Anyway, so that's where we're sitting on YouTube subscribers. On Facebook, the America Bumper to Bumper page, we are sitting at 747 follows, 736 likes. Of course, I never quite understand. Thank you very much on that. The praise on the how things are going. It is very exciting. And let's see, Instagram. 243. So pretty soon, Instagram is going to be, tied with YouTube. All right. So where we're going to be over the next few weeks, there's nothing, unfortunately, going on up here in the Northeast for car shows that I'm going to be able to get to this weekend. So we got next weekend. Quentin Brothers. Never understood the whole likes versus follows. Yeah, I completely agree. Classic Ride Society. Never quite understood that myself. But hey, if somebody wants to like it and not follow, or follow and not like, whatever.
Quentin Brothers this weekend, right?
No, that's next weekend. Oh, yep, next weekend we got Quentin Brothers Auto and Performance. They over the past couple of years have done a couple of SEMA builds. Their first one, I made a video of the Vermont unveiling of the car. It was a 68 Camaro, and I will put a link in, it'll be up here, so you guys can check that out. Fantastic looking car overall. There was a few things that I personally didn't like, but hey, to each their own. This party, or this shop party, they are actually going to be unveiling their new SEMA build. So that's going to be really exciting. So they'll have a video out of the festivities, all the cars that are in their shop right now, and what they will be building. Then, let's see, the following weekend, Sunday, March 31st, which actually I realized I may not be able to go because I have a granddaughter that will be baptized that day, but we'll see. Might see if I can squeeze it out if my wife's not listening. Anyway, there's a Cars and Coffee in Troy, New York, and if we can get down there, we'll do that. If not, Then we're looking middle of April before the next car shows that I will be able to actually get to. Content over the next couple of weeks might be a little scarce because with my new job, there's not a lot of time to do a whole lot else, which I'm very happy to be employed. So we'll have to play that one as we go. Okay, let's get into some car news, recalls, all that good stuff. Sounds like they are having an open house. Yes, that is absolutely right. The Quinton brothers, it's their customer appreciation open house sort of things. Actually, I went up there last year and just took a bunch of pictures for Facebook and Instagram. They do, it's kind of like a reaction time for drag racing. They have, a button that you press with your hand, and you're sitting in there, and it's got a tree, and it lights up just like if you're lining up for a drag race, and then you have to press the button as soon as the green, and whoever gets has the best reaction time wins. So there's all sorts of fun stuff. They got tons of food, and like I say, this will be the first time that they've actually unveiled what car they're going to do. First year that they went to SEMA, it was a secret up until the point where they revealed the car to us in Vermont. And so, yeah, it's going to be a great open house. These guys are very talented, and it's going to be well worth the watch. All right. Recalls. 2019 Ford Ranger has already been recalled.
Wow.
Yep.
That's really sad.
Yep. Yeah, definitely got to hit that last yellow light and not hit the red, because without that, you're, nobody wants a red light when you're drag racing. All right. So and I don't know, can't remember if I actually talked about this last week, the Ranger, but 3,000 model year 19 Rangers equipped with the 10-speed automatic. The transmission lever can be moved from park without the key in the starting system and without depressing the brake pedal, which can cause the truck to move unexpectedly, increasing the risk of injury and crash. Hey, Jason, thanks for stopping in. Have they even sold any Rangers yet? I haven't seen any on the road. I see them at the dealerships, but I haven't seen any on the road yet. But apparently 3,000 of them are being recalled. Yeah, so they're going to fix the interlock system for free, which, with any recall will happen. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these local dealers sold a few, Jason. Okay, that's cool. Cool. That's the problem that I have with all vehicles nowadays. Trucks all are looking the same. Cars are all looking the same. So it doesn't matter what you buy, with the exception of a very few cars, they all look the same. That's why I think I'm so excited about the Jeep Gladiator pickup, is because it doesn't look like a truck out there. It looks, of course, like a Jeep, but it's I'd rather be driving a Jeep truck than a truck that looks like everybody else's. Anyway, next recall that we're going to talk about, 2,100 model years 17 through 19 Ferraris are being recalled. I know this is going to affect a lot of you guys, because I know how many of you got Porsches out there, or sorry, Ferraris out there that watch my channel. So listen carefully. 2017 Ferrari LaFerrari, which is the hybrid electric super hypercar, I think they call it, that is affected. I know you've got a lot of them out there. Then we've got the 2018 and 19 488 GTB sports cars, the 488 Spider, the GTC 4 Lusso, and the 812 Superfast. Those cars are also affected. And again, I know a lot of you got them in the garage. And finally, the 2019 488 Pista is also on that list. And again, head out to your garages and make sure that the cars are all in one piece, because the problem is fairly big. The fuel vapor separator may crack and allow fuel to leak, which in the presence of an ignition source may cause increase the risk of fire. So yeah, no open flames near your Ferrari parked in your garage, because you won't have a garage or a Ferrari. And they're gonna, of course, fix them for free. Which I don't know why this story keeps saying they're separate. They're going to be fixed for free. It's a recall. Of course, they're going to be fixed for free. Anyway, back to the stories here. One of the biggest recalls that I actually, my lovely wife helped comprise all of this stuff, and yeah, I'm pretty sure classic rides, you will not find them in the junkyards unless you're going to Coparts or something like that, because as you can if you guys follow Tavares does a bunch of a lot of car stuff down in I believe it's the Tampa, Florida area. He bought the burnt Ferrari that was Tyler Hoover's, of Hoovy's Garage, that was driven by, this is a convoluted story, which you guys probably know, but driven by Parker Nierenstein from Vehicle Virgins. He was the one who drove it, caught on fire, basically burned to the ground. Tyler Hoover got a settlement from the insurance company, and then bought it, sold it to Tavares, and Tavares is rebuilding it. Lived in Tampa for I actually have some family that lives in Sarasota, so I'd love to be able to get down there, see them, and go hang out in Tavares's garage, because he's got some really cool cars. But that is a long shot, because Florida's a long way from Vermont. 5 years. Okay. I was wondering about that classic. I kind of was like, what? Yeet? My kids like to say yeet all the time, but I don't think that was what you're... Anyways. So the biggest recall that I've seen, nearly 900,000 Fiat Chrysler automobiles are being recalled from 2011 to 16 model years. The cars that are affected: 2011 through 14 Chrysler 200, 11 through 14 Dodge Avenger, 11 through 12 Dodge Caliber, 11 to 16 Dodge Journey, 11 to 16 Jeep Compass, and Patriots. Now, the problem that they have here is the catalytic converters, yes. They deteriorate, which causes more pollutants to get out into the atmosphere. So this one is kind of an interesting recall, because they're doing it in steps, kind of like the Tanaka airbag recalls. They are starting this quarter with any model year 2011 cars. Once they Nacho Mom has a recall on her car at the dealership. Yeah. What kind of car do you have out there? Nacho's dad is the one that's going to the but I'll find all those Chrysler's in the junkyard. After a while, yeah, definitely. I'm Chrysler products. 2012 Avenger, nice. Yep. So anyways, 2011 cars, first quarter of 2019, 12s in the second quarter, 2013 and 14 in the third quarter, and 15 and 16 in the fourth quarter. So hold out until a couple, another month or so. Nacho's dad and you can get your car fixed. Basically, they're just going to replace the catalytic converters, and everything will be hunky dory. All right. Top 7 best car values for 2019. And this is from JD Power.
No,
What? What is it?
it's from cars.com.
Oh, cars.com. Oh, I just saw that, JD Powers. Okay, cars.com. My apologies. Now, all these have a bit of a St. Patty's Day, so I forgot to say happy St. Patty's Day, everyone, this weekend. If you're going to drink, don't drive. So the best values right now, the Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass has suffered a 25% year-over-year drop in sales. So there are lots on the ground, and you can get them for a bit of a steal. Let's see, what is a discounts? Now through April 1st, credit-worthy car shoppers, not me, can get 0% financing for up to 36 months. Who's going to have a car loan for 36 months? Nowadays, it's 6 or 7 years at least. Discount on all green cars. Yeah, that's the way people should, they should be doing it for St. Patty's Day. But then all the other cars would feel left out and, protest or something. And with a Jeep Compass, you can get $2,500 off certain trims and in certain regions if you finance through FCA. Next up, Ford Fusion, which is very understandable because Fusions are going the way of the dodo bird. This report says that there is an average of a 60-day supply on lots, and much higher if you're looking for the hybrid. There's more hybrid and plug-in versions on the ground than the regular cars. And now through April 1, shoppers can save $2,000 or as much as $4,500 off non-hybrid Fusions, depending on trim level. Excuse me. And they're also doing 2.9% financing up to 84 months. There's that 7 years. Chrysler Pacifica is another car that you can get a good deal on. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where it's all this phlegm is coming from, but okay. So the non-hybrid versions of the Pacifica, there's an average of 74 days supply on dealer lots, and now through April 1, you can save anywhere from $7,500 to $3,250, depending on trim and what region you live in. You can also save extra money if you finance through FCA. Editor's choice is the Hyundai Sonata. Sonata right now, there's an average of 75-day supply on dealer lots, and you can get anywhere from $2,250 to $2,500 off model year 19 Sonatas, and you can get 0.9% financing up to 60 months. Not bad. And they'll also give an additional $500 off if you finance through Hyundai. The other couple cars that round off the list would be the Chevy Cruze, the Hyundai Elantra, and Nissan Pathfinder. The Pathfinder is kind of an interesting one to hear on there. So other car recalls. GM's got a bunch of cars, 26,782, 16 through 18 Cadillac CTS sedans, and 2017 Corvette and Camaros, and 17 Cadillac ATS sedans. The electric power steering assist may fail while the vehicle is in motion. Ooh, that's not a good thing. If power steering is lost, drivers may have to steer with more effort, which, yeah, I don't, yeah. So, anyways, if you got a Cadillac CTS, ATS, or a Camaro Corvette, then you might be getting a letter saying you are going to have to get your car fixed. Now, just to skim over Corvette, we got a Honda recall for airbags. We got the BMW X1 crossovers. Audi's got 9,000 cars. The Fiat Spider has a recall for transmission problems. Alfa Romeo's got a bunch of cars. So yeah, steering is very critical. Although back in the day, we all know that there were a lot of cars that didn't have power steering, and people did just fine. A lot of people, it's a good workout. Get rid of the power steering. Down with power steering. No, I'm just joking. Okay. What are we going to talk about now? Oh, I wish Jason were in here because this is a story up from his way. Two brothers road trip. This is the headline. Road trip turned into a 12-hour border standoff. Two brothers, Damien and Bailey Roy, planned to drive from Nova Scotia to Mexico. And this is the thing that makes me go, dee dee dee. They were going to drive from Nova Scotia, Canada, to Mexico without identification, driving a 1967 Buick with no license plates, with it filled with 21 jugs of gasoline. Let that sink in for a minute. These guys thought they were going to be able to... Okay, let's do the rest of the story. The adventure was over before it began, however, when the brothers triggered a standoff with authorities at the border of New Brunswick, Canada, and Maine. Damien, 22, Bailey, 21, thought they had it all figured out. According to the Washington Post, they loaded up their just-purchased, undocumented 67 Buick Skylark with many gallons of gas in the trunk and back seat, with the intent of driving from Canada to Mexico without stopping for any gas in the United States. The brothers reportedly did not have any identification, and they were using paper maps. So it sounds like they didn't even have cell phones. And they planned on crossing the border illegally on some back road somewhere. Unfortunately for them, they didn't make it. Unfortunately for them, instead they ended up at a major border crossing, and when officers approached the vehicle, but the brothers were completely unresponsive, staring straight ahead. The brothers were frozen in fear and indecision, or then again, maybe they were stupefied from all the gas fumes. That's when officers glanced in the back and noticed all the gas cans. And this led to a 12-hour lockdown and all border traffic redirected because the officers suspected it was a possible car bomb terrorist attack. Oh, my story just decided it wanted to jump there. All right, so brothers eventually gave themselves up after they were surrounded by drones, helicopters, armored vehicles, dogs, and SWAT. Both brothers were charged with committing a hoax related to terrorist activity and willfully obstructing police officers. And they're, that's funny. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It would have been a hell of a story if they made it, but
what makes men so ridiculous?
We're men. Some people get the idea in their head that they want to do something especially when you're 21 and 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. 0 chance of that happening. Yep. Right. So back in December of 2017, everybody, I'm sure is aware of Dieselgate, and how VW and Audi faked all the emissions on these cars. So when they bought all these cars back, they went to, basically if they find a big enough parking lot and could make it secure, that's where the cars, went. So in the Michigan area, all these vehicles, I don't think it says how many they had there, but Volkswagen, Audi took the old Pontiac Silverdome parking lot and, around the whole stadium, and that's where they parked all these Dieselgate cars. Well, according to reports, 61 of those cars that were stored at the Silverdome parking lot ended up going missing. Police discovered the cars had been stolen, and 2 men have now been charged with the thefts. 2 Michigan men have been charged with conspiring to steal automobiles and the sale or possession of stolen automobiles. One guy is 41 and 42-year-old gentlemen have been arraigned and released on bail and will be back in court on April 12th. Good effort for trying to do it, but cars have got to be one of the, unless you're planning on stripping them, getting them. The yard near my shop took those VWs by the semi-load. Oh, they crushed them. Oh, it's too bad. I mean, you get the software upgrade, and apparently that kind of took care of everything, at least on the newer ones. But you cannot get away. It's very hard for you to get away with anything in today's day and age. So yeah, I mean, these guys are still taking the VWs and crushing them. That's amazing. But again, unless you're planning on stripping them, trying to sell the cars as a whole is going to throw up some really big red flags. Classic Rides. I don't think they're allowed to sell any parts. Hey, Novitaz, thanks for stopping in. Sean, I believe that's your name. I'm trying to remember anybody that I know's name. I'm trying to get it out there. So thanks for stopping in. All right, great. Again, I'm trying to make sure, if I know a name, I'll get it out there. All right, next story we're gonna brush on is if you guys paid any sort of attention to the Mahindra Roxor. Oh, okay. Hey, Benny, good to know your name. Now I'll try to remember it when we're in the live streams, because it's a lot easier than Classic Ride Society all the time. All right. So Mahindra is an Indian company. They have a whole line of cars over in India. And one of the things that they've been doing since the 40s is they've licensed from Jeep as it progressed, CJ, 3s and 4, 5s and 7s, and last year they started assembling what they call in India the Thor, and selling it here as what we are calling it the Roxor, as a off-road side-by-side. It is not currently street legal. But anyways, I got a video on it. It's my most viewed video. I'll put a link here to that. Love the Roxers, but I just can't justify 20 grand. Yeah, I completely understand, get it. And but for the guys that are spending 20 grand, on some other side by sides, I do think it's kind of cool to, thought of having a brand new Jeep. But yeah, it's yeah, kind of an odd sort of a way to get your name open in this country. Anyways, so what Mahindra's plan is to start slowly bringing some of the Mahindra products into the U.S. market. Now, they've tried this once before, failed miserably, so that they're hoping that with the introduction of the Roxer, that people will see Mahindra for much more than just a cheap Indian car company and do something a bit more. And only time will tell if that actually works. They have not released much of what they will be bringing to the U.S., but there is a potential of a minivan, which, if anybody knows the minivan market, may not be the best strategy for the one of the cars to bring over. But I am not a marketing major, so we'll let them do whatever they want to do. What else? All right. Did you guys know that there was actually a hardtop version of the second generation Miata? I didn't either. SUVs seem to be the future. Nova, Taz, absolutely right. That is absolutely right. That's where everybody's going. I do think that if at some point we start seeing gas creep up back into the $3 and $4, the $4 or $5 dollar range, I think that SUVs are going to be jettisoned as quick as possible. So any company that still makes cars, passenger sedans, so to speak, is going to be in a way better situation. Unless these SUVs are extremely fuel efficient. But yes, SUVs are definitely the future. You think about all the easy gas market goes up like that, they're going to do it on purpose when they start releasing the electric and hybrid vehicles. Very good point. Hey, Mr. Mach 1, thanks for taking the time to stop in, everyone. I appreciate it. Really appreciate you coming in. So anyways, back to the Mazda Miata story. Second generation did have a very low production number coupe model, only sold in Japan. 179 of these coupes were built, and one is up for sale in Hong Kong. I'm going to bear with me. I'm going to grab you guys and bring you over here so you can see. That is the front view. Well, I got to make sure I'm trying to make sure you guys can actually see that. Front view of the car. And there is the actual coupe. Now, I don't know about you guys. I think that car could have been a huge seller. That is a good-looking car, and man. Anyway, this particular is a 2004, 30,000 miles on it. It is a right-hand drive model. It's one of 63 of the Type S version that was made. And I would buy that any day, but I do not have $38,700, which is what the asking price is, but that is a nice looking car. Right. This is something, actually, it's a well over a year old, but it was something my daughter brought up to me that I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Sean. It is much better looking than the convertible. I think they could have sold a whole ton of them. But again, nobody asked my opinion at the time. So this story is from a year ago. So I don't know where the technology, if they're still trying to pursue this or not. But Goodyear tire company had a concept tire out that has the potential to clean our air. The tire is called Oxygen, and it is a tire with living moss in the middle of it. It doesn't maybe has tread on it. It's kind of a weird sort of thing, but as the car goes down the road, it picks up water from the ground, mud puddles, whatever. That goes up and into the moss and helps it stay alive. Excuse me. And then the moss takes pollutants in the air, carbon dioxide, monoxide, and converts it into oxygen, and it just kind of circles out. So what was I saying? With more than 2/3 of the world population expected to live in cities by 2050, the demands of transportation networks in urban environments will increase substantially. These tires were oxygen absorbs moisture from the road through its unique tread and inhales CO2 from the air to feed the moss in its sidewall and releases oxygen via photosynthesis. In a city similar to the size of Paris, with about 2.5 million vehicles, this would mean generating nearly 300 tons of oxygen and absorbing more than 4,000 tons of carbon dioxide per year. I don't know about making it to 2050 either. But I'm very it's very cool to see companies thinking outside the box and trying stuff like that. See, they recycle worn tires to make this new stuff, and it's actually 3D printed, which is another kind of interesting recycling thing. So better again for the environment. And here's another thing that's just wild about this. It generates electricity as well. The oxygen harvests the energy generated during photosynthesis to power its embedded electronics, including onboard sensors, an artificial intelligence processing unit, and customizable light strips in the tire sidewall that switches colors, warning both road users and pedestrians of upcoming maneuvers such as lane changes and braking. That, again, if that can come to fruition and clean the environment, more power to them. Let's see, I can imagine the moss in a dark garage. Whole floor would be covered. Yeah, that is very true. Especially if your garage is in, say, a basement of a house. When I was growing up, our garage was in the basement of the house, and it was always, I hate using this word, but moist down there. So that's feel good story for today. And this final story I have before I talk about a a car story of my youth. The Peisch Mark Zero concept was unveiled at the Geneva Auto Show, and this car is an electric car. It has lithium-ion batteries that can charge faster than any current car on the market. It can charge charges faster than the half hour currently required by most electric cars. This car can go from 0 to 80% charge with a 300-mile battery range in just 4 minutes and 40 seconds, according to the company. Of course, I apologize, 80% of the 300-mile battery. So 80% would be a 240-mile range. This proprietary battery technology from Chinese suppliers Destin Group and something I really can't pronounce has made it possible to have these things. Mr. Mach 1, thank you very much for stopping in. Really appreciate you taking the time to hang out for a bit. Anyways, the Peisch Mark Zero, it's a pretty looking car. You guys should look it up on your respective websites or search engines, the internets, and check it out. It's actually a pretty good looking car. And that, having an electric car, if this does in fact charge a 240-mile range in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I mean, that's like a gas fill up, and I'm good for it. I excuse me, have problems with driving a car and going, oh no, I'm down to 20%, battery voltage, and now I've got to wait 6 or 8 hours to get it up to the point where I can go where I need to go. So that's some great technology, and I hope it makes it into other vehicles. All right, so what I'm going to the story from my youth I'm going to talk about is how one of the best car deals that I ever got. So in high school, my first on-road car, I think I may have talked about that a while ago, was a 1984 Mercury Lynx. It's two-door. Mercury Lynx was the equivalent to the Ford Escort. It was a 4-speed. Okay, gonna make dinner. Hope to see you Sunday. Yeah, Sean, I'll be there. Don't know how long I'll be able to stay, but I'll come in and you can see my lovely face again, and we can chat up on Sunday. Low Linux 50. Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate you hopping in on the live stream. I again, very appreciative of all you guys who take the time to stop in. Car story. So the Mercury Lynx, my brother, yes, it was a hatchback, two-door hatchback. It originally was my mother's winter car because she had a Camaro, an 87. It was a 2.8 liter. There's the V6, 5-speed. My brother one day was driving it and rear-ended a pickup truck and did a nosedive. So the bumper hit the top of the leading edge of the hood, basically skinned it back. But he rebuilt it. Let's just say while I was driving that car, if I'd ever been in an accident, I probably would have died because There was just the mangled sheet metal underneath, just kind of pulled out. After that car started developing some issues, so we parked it. I ended up buying a crap brown 79 Volkswagen Rabbit diesel. That car I absolutely loved because, again, it was a two-door, wind-up moonroof. I was able to drive that car from where I lived, central Vermont, to Old Orchard Beach, Maine, and back, which is roughly 500-ish miles on a complete full tank. So, and that was a 10-gallon tank, so 50 miles per gallon. That was an awesome, thing. Drove that for about a year, and a buddy of mine absolutely loved that thing. Always wanted to get it from me. This was senior year in high school, so I ended up giving the car to a buddy to go out during a study hall so he could drive around and get out of school. He limped the car back, and I don't know what he was doing to it, but he blew out the clutch in it. So the other guy who was always wanting the Rabbit was like, "Oh no, I'll take it. I'll put the new clutch in it," because I couldn't afford to put the clutch in. And he's like, "Yeah, you've given me the Rabbit and the Lynx because my sister needs a car, and I will give you my 85 S10 Blazer, 4-wheel drive." And I'm like, okay. So like a no-brainer for me. This S10 wasn't the perfect thing. The engine had been replaced. The rear quarter panel was crushed in from some sort of accident. Everything else on the truck was fine. 4-wheel drive. So I get these cars, the Rabbit. Oh no, it's the Lynx, because that was one that was still drivable. Drove it to his house, swapped the plates, made the very bad mistake of the rear struts for the hatch for the rear glass, didn't work, and I let it drop down. It shattered the back window, so that was a bummer. The kid's uncle bought him this car, this Blazer. And when we were swapping everything around, the uncle was there, and he's like, "Dude, you got one heck of a deal. I am really pissed off with my cousin, or with my nephew, but I don't blame you. You did everything. You're fine in this, but I'm really not happy with my nephew right now." I'm like, "Hey, you know what? I get it, but." So anyways, this Blazer, I had it for a couple years. It was a great thing. It's not great on gas, which anybody knows. Who's driven one of those things knows. Drove it back and forth to college. It eventually, the engine and the replacement engine, which was a used engine, started having some, I'm pretty sure it was some bearing issues. So I ended up, selling it off. And I kind of regretted doing that because it was a great vehicle. I don't think it's great. It was a really good vehicle. Not great, but it wasn't sucky either. I mean, lots of great things about it. Had lots of really good times in it. So, yeah. I've had more cars than I can remember over the years. Most of them are, really cheap things, and eventually I'm going to try and do a video where I talk about each car. I'm going to have to split it up into a couple of videos probably, because it's going to be a very long video. But that'll be, something maybe for the near future. All right. what do you guys have? Anything else going on in the chat? Anything else you guys want to talk about? If nobody pipes up in over the next couple of minutes, we will end it where we're at. Otherwise, we can keep things going in the chat. What was the best car deals that you guys got? C8 breakdown this week. Explain a little bit more on that, Walt. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. Is are they supposed to be debuting it somewhere this week? I do kind of like, I don't know if you guys all, pretty sure all of you guys have been over to Straight Six Fan and Old Car Auto Guy, their live stream. I'm trying to, figure out somebody to maybe do something similar here, because it's a lot easier to, when somebody doesn't have something to say, the other one probably does. Anyways. Okay, so you saw a video of the new Corvette being towed. Interesting. Classic Rides, you're saying you might have might be going out to check out a clean 77 Delta 88 two-door. Nice. Is this something that's in a yard, or is this a car that's not going to be crushed? Anything to buy cheap and get you around for a long time. It's a Chevy. Yep. Oh, you're a Ford guy? Yeah. I generally not there. I've had a bunch of Fords over the years. $1,200. I love Zelda, and if you guys don't know Zelda, she's an '84 Lincoln Continental, Fox body car. Hey, Jason, you're back. You missed a story. Some idiots from Canada. And I'm not saying anybody, anything else bad, but I'll highlight the story again. You can tell me if you've heard it. See, find it. Did you, Jason, did you hear about the brothers who tried to drive from Nova Scotia to Mexico in an unregistered car with no identification, and sparked a I'm sorry, that's funny. Yeah, it's I'm sure that if they'd hit anywhere other than the that particular New Brunswick border crossing, they might have gotten away, with it, but only an hour or so from here. Okay, so further north, I'm guessing. So that good try on those guys. Good try. So what we're doing right now is just doing anything in the chat. I've pretty much gone through my all my news and stuff. So Low Lidex 50 had a 75 L82 5-speed vet. Very, very, very nice. I recently, last summer, did a video on an 80 Corvette with the L82. Or might have been the 84. Anyways, fun car. Ozu Lou Garage, thanks for coming in. Classic, sorry, Benny. Yeah, Benny. Yard by me just got a 43 Ford Fairlane 500 Ford, or a SAT. It's all, oh man. 64 Galaxy, nice. it's extremely sad, seeing, even the cars that are, beyond, fixing, but there's got to be something in those cars that's worth, getting off, saving. Terry, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you coming by. Here's a question for everybody that's in the chat room. Would it be more convenient for all of you to push back the start of the live stream to like 8? It seems last time a few times I've kind of noticed that lots of people come in towards the end when I'm starting to wind down. So I don't know if you guys think it'll be easier to start it a little bit later for you guys. Eight works good. Okay. Because I am more than willing to do it if it's going to help you guys, hop in and get more stuff done here. Fridays are always difficult, so I can't say. Okay, makes sense. I know Fridays are often very difficult, and if I can't start seeing to getting better viewership here, we might be looking at a different day to do it. But for now, we're going to stick with here. 8's good. Walter and Benny both say 8. Okay, cool. Oh, it's your lunch break. Hey, that's even better. I have so many shows to try to watch. I miss a lot. Not a big deal. The great thing is you're here now. That's the most important thing for me. And yeah, I'm just super happy that you all take the time to come in. If there's other stuff that you would like me to try and bring in, other types of car news, I know that I had one other guy suggesting that I talk about some of the bigger YouTubers and what they're doing, but I figure that the bigger YouTubers are doing pretty good on their own, so why? Walter is Rough Rides Restos. He's over in New Hampshire. I've been meaning to try and get to meet up with him to do some sort of collaboration, because he does a lot of the same sort of stuff I do, going to car shows and looking at stuff. Okay, Patrick, good to have him with that too. So we've got Terry Eford Garage. We've got Jason Carr from Old Car Garage. We've got Walter from Rough Ride Restos. We've got Benny at Classic Ride Society, and Patrick Lowlytics 50. Awesome. I'd enjoy any news on Class 1. On classics. Okay. I tried to do that, but with my new setup here with this webcam, I want to show pictures of what I'm finding online, and it's a little bit more difficult. Maybe I'll put you guys on this rather than up there, and just move the camera around so we can see the computer screen. That's probably something that we can do to get that more classic stuff on here, because I am a huge classic fan. I'm all about old stuff. Okay, I can get much into the new stuff. Yeah, I completely understand and agree with you on that, Terry. All cars, and I mentioned this earlier with the story on the Ford Rangers, recall. All those trucks look the same. Modern sedans all look the same. So it's, I do love cars that have a little bit of style and just something that looks different. So we can definitely do something like that. Blue Moon NPC, go Pats. Okay. I am in central Vermont. Where are you from, Blue Man? My heart is customs and lead sleds. Oh, yes, Patrick, that is awesome. Yep. Texas, awesome. Got another Texas guy in here. That is very cool. Thank you for however you found me. Thanks for stopping in and chatting. Yeah, the amount of thought, time, and energy that goes into the lead sleds and in the customs just absolutely blows my mind. From the chopping the roof down. Oh, Missouri. We were in New York and Vermont over Xmas. Oh, cool. I'm trying to remember whether we actually had snow. Well, most of the area had snow. I'm not sure where I lived we had any snow. Send some warm air up here. I don't know about you, Jason, but we had nearly 60 degrees here in here in Vermont, so that was really nice. Melted most of the snow in my backyard. Hogback Mountain. Cool. I'm glad to know where you guys are all coming from, so that's pretty cool. 47 yesterday. Yeah, we hit about 50 yesterday. And we hit I think my car said 59 today coming home, so I'm very excited. I'm going to try, depending on how cold it gets, I'm going to try to see if I can get Zelda started and moved from her winter spot into a more driveway spot. We'll see how that all goes. Maybe I'll do a video of trying to get her started. I have a feeling the battery is going to be dead, but not a problem. We'll get that all figured out. San Antonio for Blue Man NPC. And Benny, Classic Rides, you're Dallas, correct? Yep, I'm gonna have one of the kids out there with a videotape, and we'll see what we can do. Yep. I actually have a buddy that used to live up here that's now down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I wish I could remember where he works, but he does custom interior work for a shop there. He has an Instagram where he also will do, he customizes Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars. It's very cool stuff. I've been trying to get him to start a channel doing his customizations because that would be pretty damn cool. He's got a really cool old Volvo. I'm not sure if he still has it at this point, but I've seen some of the work that he's done on interiors, and he is very talented. So sorry guys, my throat's pretty dry today. Last time I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area was a good 25 years ago. I do have an aunt and uncle that live in Fort Worth, so we've been there a couple times when I was a kid. Do love that whole area and would absolutely love to be in an area where I could do videos all year long, but I am where I am, and that's all good. Swap meets in San Antonio. Yeah, Benny, you are living the life. I love the videos that you do with those junkyard walks. 25 one day and 75. Yeah, that's the time of year. Yep. It's good stuff. I love seeing you guys chatting away in the notifications. We'd love to go to Pennsylvania to the Hershey swap meet. Yeah, I've actually been considering going down to Hershey for either car show or for the swap meet. Pretty amazing stuff, down there. Plus, might run into some of those other, those other big tubers down there, 717, Street Speed 717 and whatnot. Carlisle is the other place. For you guys that don't know, I've got family that lives in the Manassas, Virginia area, and I've been trying forever to move south. At one point, we thought we were there, and I was so excited to be closer to Carlisle for all of their car shows. That's another thing that I'd absolutely love to be able to get to. But 6 hours is a bit of a haul, especially when I've got small dinero. So you're going to try to get to the October swap meet, Benny? That would be pretty cool. And Jason, you're trying to get down to the swap meet too? Yeah. Yes. Quite the haul getting down there. Yeah, I mean, Vermont, we don't have, there's 802 Garage. He's got something like 12,000, maybe he's up to, 14,000 subscribers. Rob Ferretti, down in the New York City area. He's probably the closest big YouTuber to me. Well, then again, he would be the real big. Nick's Garage, I think, is again probably one of the closer mid-sized YouTube channels. So not a lot in the Northeast. I think there might be a couple other guys in the 10, 12,000 area. But guys like Street Speed 717, people like Cletus McFarlane, Tavarish, Tyler Hoovy over at Hoover's Garage, Hoovy's Garage, Vehicle Virgins, Adam LZ. I mean, they're all Florida, Florida, the Midwest, and California. I mean, Street Speed and Pennsylvania is probably the coldest, but he's got trucks to be able to do stuff with. I want a truck, can't afford one. Love to do that sort of stuff. What do we got here? Grams 57 Bel Air, Blue Man. That is awesome. I have always had a soft spot in my soul for a 57 Bel Air. They're absolutely gorgeous styling. I love a Tri-5. Any of those Tri-5s are awesome. That's very cool. It takes it to car shows. That's eventually, I'm not sure. Oh, I've frozen. Ew. Sorry, guys. Freezing here. What's going on? Yes, my computer at times likes to try and restart everything. So we might have to stop this. No, there, we're all back to normal, I think. What do you guys, how's everything on your end? Still very up in the air. Oh, I sold it. Too bad that he sold that 57. Still every day I'm go between getting my 84 Lincoln Continental back as close to stock and, you know, restoring it, or whether I want to, you know, make it into the ultimate sleeper car. I more often than not slide over to the sleeper because who's going to suspect any big horsepower or anything out of a 1987 or 84 Lincoln Continental. Yeah, no, the exterior on the car is very, very nice. Does need a repaint at some point because the paint is cracking under the clear coat. And there are a few other things paint-wise that I'd like to, you know, fix on it. But you know, interior for the most part, you know, it needs a few things. It did have veneer wood on certain areas of it that need to, you know, that's all peeled off that I need to redo. Not sure whether I'm going to redo the car in veneer again or whether I'm going to try and find a faux carbon fiber or something. But then again, that car doesn't really scream carbon fiber, you know, to me. You know, maybe do something like aluminum. Definitely have to upgrade the stereo system because it's pretty bad. Got to fix the windows. I'm trying to figure out whether a boroscope would help me with one of the windows because I got the part in and it looks like it should work, but it doesn't. What do we got going in the chat? Anything new? Nope. Unless you guys have much more to pop in, I think we're going to call it in about the next minute or so. We'll let you guys chat. Jason, thanks for coming in and you know, popping in and out. Really appreciate you being here. I know you know, Benny, I am so upset that I didn't see that video before I saw you in the live stream there, because I would absolutely have loved to have gotten, if nothing else, the chrome. One of the only major things that this, you know, that Zelda is missing is the chrome that goes over the rear wheel wells and then along the bottom rear quarter. And it's a bitch to try and find those new things. New challenge video going live in the morning, Jason says. All right. We will check that out and see what's happening over there. But yes, Benny, I cried a little when you said that you went back and they crushed it because, yeah, like I say, it's extremely hard. I've not found anywhere to get those chrome pieces. So really appreciate it. Yeah, if you see another one, find out how much they want for those that chrome piece. I will, you know, Facebook the money to you or something for those pieces, because again, stupid hard to find. All right, 8:45 is coming up in about a minute or so. We're going to call it there. So we'll get the last few things out in the chat room, and we're going to call it at 8:45. So last few remarks in there. And again, guys, I very much appreciate everybody that came in. Blue Man NPC, if you're into cars, I'd really appreciate if you taking a look at all my. Hey, Pete, I didn't even see you in here. Thanks for stopping in, even if it was for a minute. Appreciate you being here. Blue Man NPC, if you're into cars, I'd really appreciate it to check out some of my other stuff and subscribe. And if anybody else isn't subscribed, which I'm pretty sure you guys all are, I would appreciate the subscribe. Again, I was at 296 when we started here, and so close to 300, and every step closer to 1,000 is awesome. So, all right, we're now at 8:45. We're done. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you next week.